what does it mean to be queer and Muslim? For the queer Muslim community in the UK, some are facing a hard battle of race, religion and class. It can be very isolating being ostracised from those closest to you, from families turning their backs or even the rest of the queer community. According to LGBTQ+ charity Hidayah, research shows that Muslim views on sexual diversity became more conservative in the last century. Majority of the community does not accept same-sex activity, whether in the UK or abroad. Although it seems like there's so much stacked up against queer Muslims, there are a few that have found peace between the religion and the queer community. Queer Voices UK got to speak to the gorgeous drag queen Val Qaeda, aka Bollywood bombshell in a burqa and Muslim Manchester queen. Val is proving that you can be both queer and Muslim. However, it does come with its challenges.
It can get quite challenging because you always feel like there's an inner conflict in there, and it takes a while to remind yourself that both can coexist at the same time. I mean, I get death threats on like the daily online, but it doesn't stop me from being who I am, because I always say that I'm not visible for the straight Muslim community. I'm visible for the queer Muslim community, and if it helps one of those people that were in a position that I was in when I was 15 to show that they're not alone and that they don't have to distance themselves from the religion because someone out there is being authentically themselves and also staying in the religion, then I've done my job, really. Because a lot of these straight Muslims want to push queer people out of the religion, when really that's like one of the biggest sins, like pushing someone out of the religion. So I'm trying to be an example of, look, here, I'm queer. I come to terms with my identity, but I'm also a Muslim, and you can be both. You don't have to distance yourself from it.
But not everyone is in a situation where they feel brave enough to come out, and the thought of freely accepting both communities is a thought too far to reach. According to Stonewall Facts and Figures, a third of lesbian, gay and bisexual people of faith and 1 in 4 trans people of faith aren't open with anyone in their faith community about their identity. As statistics show, 90% of countries banning homosexual relations are majority Muslim or Christian. For their own safety, some Muslims choose to not come out, in fear of what their parents might think or do. This is the case for 18-year-old Naila, who identifies as queer but not openly to her strict Muslim parents.
Whatever you want to do independently, they'll use it against you, saying, oh, like, no, you can't do this, it's haram, like, you can't move out until you get married because that's haram, like, when really it isn't. So I grown up to actually done research for myself, because I would feel really guilty if I haven't listened to my parents. They actually sent me to a all-girls high school, thinking that I wouldn't be talking to boys. It really made me feel oh, why do I like girls, Some Muslims that were also bi or lesbians, and it kind of made me feel is this okay? When I've done my research, I found out that you can't date same sex, kind of got to the point where I had to control myself, because I didn't want my parents finding out. I don't want to tell them that I'm bi.
With the Quran forbidding queer sexual relationships, it's not easy for queer Muslims to be out loud and proud. But there are loads of queer events and spaces that welcome everyone. 24-year-old Aala, who is an ally, says,
how people can just close their eyes so much to just acceptance, all because a religion just tells you not to do so. I find it quite sad. I find it really hard-headed as well.
It can get quite hard because it's being Muslim and then being queer. It's you're too religious for the queer side of your community, and you're too gay for your religious side of your community. So it's finding that middle ground, or if you don't find that middle ground, it's just learning to accept yourself and realizing that your personal relationship with God is your personal relationship. It took me a while to find my own community of queer Muslims. A lot of my chosen family was just queer people and queer people of colour, really. But in the past few years, I learned to let go of my inhibitions and trust other queer Muslims.
Although we've seen how difficult it is to be both queer and Muslim, we've also seen that it's not impossible. There are brave queer Muslims changing the narrative right as we speak. It's been Queer Voices UK.